What's up, YouTube family? This is Dr. Zoe, aka Dr. Mindbender, coming back in for another installment of The Doctor's In. It's your daily dose. Want to start off by mentioning, as you probably can see, the hat. Probably wondering, Doc, you inside, man? What you got the hat on for? Well, two reasons actually. First reason, you know what I mean? It's freezing outside. Most obvious reason. Second reason, most important reason, if you read the hat, the Lion King, That's how I'm feeling today, YouTube. That's how I'm feeling today. A lot of business handle, a lot of adversity right now. Even the doctor faces adversity, you know? But hey, gotta know how to take your own advice. And on that note, let's segue into today's first question. Now, I originally planned on doing the 2012 video because, believe it or not, 2.5 weeks away, still get a lot of questions, a lot of uncertainty about 2012. But I ran into a friend today, a friend I hadn't talked to in about a couple weeks. And turns out this friend is going through a personal issue. So I gave him the information. Come home. Got a topic in my box. Turns out my good buddy is dealing with a death soon in the family. Family members not doing well, and the rest of the family's kind of going through it. So said, Zoe, what do you got for me? So friend, if you're listening, first of all, my condolences goes to the family. Our prayers, our thoughts, our best wishes we send into the universe through the ethers. Hopefully they'll reach your heart and your family's heart and make this time of transition a little easier. No time of transition is easy, but we can make it easier. All right? Now, on that note, how would I respond, or what advice would I give to someone who finds out that a family member is facing a terminal illness? Well, the first thing that I would always recommend to anyone who receives any bit of information, whether it be good or it be bad, is first relax. Relax and breathe. Because statements and actions made off emotion, especially intense emotion, usually comes back to bite us some way. The second thing is to deal with your own insecurities regarding this issue. A lot of times when we are faced with the passing of a loved one, subconsciously it makes us face our own mortality and the thought of our own passing. And we live vicariously, if you will, through the experience of the loved one. A lot of times the issue and the pain is so deep that we don't allow ourselves to process what we're feeling on that level. But the majority of the time, when we lose a loved one, we begin to contemplate our own mortality, our own fate. And on a daily basis, that's just not something that we're accustomed to doing. But it's a reality that all of us will face. And subconsciously, and I believe even consciously, we all know this. And that's why you see so much reaction to tragedy. Why you see so much emotion regarding natural disasters. Because each person who witnesses that is faced with their own mentality. Now, after that, okay, you relaxed. You contemplated your own your own mortality, and you're okay with that. Well, what do we do next? Because we still have the loved one that we have to interact with on a daily basis. Well, remember this. If you know that your family member has a terminal illness, chances are they also know. And I would be willing to bet that that family member would like to continue life as normal, just a higher quality of life for the time that they have remaining. You know what I mean? Allow them to not be treated differently. Therefore, they do not have to constantly face the reality of why they're being treated different. Go on, if possible, and of course, this is with the big bunny ears, like normal. Like normal. Because once we understand that this is a normal cycle of life, which we already understand, this is a normal phase in the cycle of life, then we are able to continue on and make the days that we have left with that individual or individuals as special as we want to make them. And chances are, knowing that these are the last days, or possibly the last days, we want to kind of get in everything we wanted to say, do, experience with that particular relative. Pace yourself. Pace yourself. Remember, any change in your behavior will indicate to the loved one that this change is due to the illness, and they will begin to feel more like a pity case or sympathy than an able-bodied adult or an able-bodied young adult. You understand? So understand that the one affected by the illness needs a sense of normalcy to continue on. Daily routine. Of course, there will be incidents, moments where the normalcy is interrupted by the disease, by the illness. But other than that, continue on as if that was just a mere hiccup, just for the sake of mental continuity. Right? Okay. Now, this is where it gets just a little deeper. When facing a terminal illness in someone else, a lot of times we wait until the passing of that loved one to enter into the 5 stages of grief. We get angry at the funeral. We deny it. Then we blame others. Then we bargain. Then we accept it. My advice to all those who know that this is a possibility, a reality that they may face, is to understand the stages of grief. Do not get angry, because that anger a lot of times is rooted in selfishness. A majority of the time when there's a terminal illness that someone is experiencing, they're also experiencing a lot of pain. And to relieve that pain by any means necessary is what we should be willing to do for our loved ones. The pain that we feel is not having that relative around to share those moments with. But as adults, as young adults becoming able-minded adults, we should have enough self-discipline and self-awareness to realize when we are putting our personal wants ahead of someone else's wants. In the situation of a terminal illness, that particular relative, whether they express it overtly or not, would probably do anything to have the pain alleviated. So when that time comes and the pain is alleviated, easier said than done, I know, but rejoice for your relative. Rejoice for your relative. I know that sounds hard. I've been there myself. And yes, it is hard. But that is why we were created to be humans. Because we can do what other creations cannot do. We can fathom what other creations cannot fathom. We can accomplish what other creations have not or cannot accomplish. So we can get this done. Understand? As far as blame, we all, well, why didn't they do this? Well, if they knew they were this, well, why didn't they do that? Hey, those are all valid points. But the only behavior in this life that we can control is our own behavior. Most of the times we have trouble controlling that. So understand that yes, there were things that could have been done to prevent this as a whole. But things happen because things are supposed to happen. Learn the lessons from all that happens and continue your journey. Honor the memory of your loved one by completing your journey. by making the best of your journey. So as they smile down upon you, upon us, they'll see that the times that they share won't be muddied by approaching illness, that you will not repeat what you said they could have done differently. Give them that satisfaction so they can rest in peace. You know, the denial phase. Oh no, this isn't real. I'm waiting for them to wake up. Hey, as adults, by this stage in life, we've usually faced our fair amount of adversity. Rely on your strength. Rely on the fact that you've made it through other adversities in life. And fall back on the strength that you've already demonstrated in life. Set the precedent. The precedent has been set. Know that. And rely on that foundation. Trust in your ability to be resilient, because you will persevere. The most important phase of this whole process is acceptance. Acceptance. Every year, after the beautiful spring and the bountiful summer, fall approaches, and eventually winter approaches Mother Nature and demands the leaves from her trees, the green from the earth, and all the warmth from the body of Mother Nature. And Mother Nature concedes. She does not complain. She does not rebel. Nor does she shed a tear. Nor does the tree shed a tear when it loses all its leaves. Why? Because this, my dear friend, is the natural course of events. This is the natural cycle of life. The tree, just like Mother Nature, knows, hey, I will be back. This may be the end of this cycle, but this is not the end of me. For I am eternal, and my roots run deep. You understand? So plant your roots. And by roots, I mean your mental energy. Plant values. Plant lessons that people can flourish and prosper with morally, consciously. Allow them to understand your teaching so that they may turn around and convey those teachings to the next generation, thereby making you and the one responsible for instilling that in you immortal. And when we are immortal, we don't contemplate death. And that, my friend, is your daily dose. Be good to yourselves. Be good to Mother Nature. And be good, period. Peace.